Imagine the frustration. You launch a campaign, hit refresh, and boom, 1,000,000 views. The comments are wild, the likes are through the roof, and you're thinking, yes, we finally cracked the code. But then, you check your sales dashboard and crickets. The needle hasn't moved an inch. It's totally flat. Look, this is a massive trap we see marketers fall into all the time. We chase these giant, flashy view counts, kind of tricking ourselves into believing that going viral automatically equals printing money. But, as we're going to see today, attention doesn't always equal intention.
Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into the definitive blueprint for maximizing the actual, real-world business ROI of your channel. Instead of just guessing what works, we're going to look at the cold, hard data to see exactly how your format choices directly dictate your business results. Let's find out why some formats make you internet famous, while others actually make you money.
Okay, so here's our game plan for today. We'll start with the reach versus conversion trap, then introduce the Help, Hub, Hero framework. From there, we'll dive straight into the specific Hero, Hub, and Help formats, and finally, we'll wrap up by building your perfect format mix.
Let's kick things off with Section 1, the reach versus conversion trap, or the dilemma of empty views.
So here's the crazy thing about content marketing. The specific format you choose literally, permanently dictates the kind of business behavior you're going to get out of it. On the left side here, you've got formats that drive absolutely insane reach. We're talking millions of eyeballs. But the conversions? Terribly low. Why? Well, because those viewers are just in pure entertainment mode. They're scrolling to be amused, so their intent to actually pull out a credit card is basically zero. But then, on the flip side, look at the right. You have these highly targeted formats that might only scrape together maybe 50,000 views, but they drive unbelievable massive revenue. Those 50K people, they have a specific problem, and they are actively looking to spend money to solve it right now. The data shows us that you really can't just rely on a generic talking head format and call it a day. To survive, you need a full funnel strategy that blends both ends of this spectrum.
Which brings us to Section 2, the Help, Hub, Hero framework. Let's talk about building your content matrix. To actually balance out that reach and conversion, we need to build a 3-tiered content calendar that perfectly overlays your marketing funnel. First up at the bottom, we have Help content. This is your evergreen, 365-day relevant, always-on stuff. Think step-by-step tutorials, FAQs, all that good stuff. It answers the exact high-volume questions your target audience is literally typing into search bars every single day. The magic of Help content is that it captures intent. The viewer is already feeling the pain point, and they are proactively searching for you or your competitor to fix it.
Moving up, we have Hub content. Think of this as your regular, episodic, scheduled programming. It's explicitly designed to give people a fresh perspective on the things they care about. The main goal here? Loyalty. You want to give your audience a completely undeniable reason to hit that subscribe button and actually keep coming back week after week. For example, picture a software company hosting a weekly deep dive interview with industry leaders. It's not necessarily pitching a product every 5 seconds, but it builds genuine trust and keeps your brand top of mind. So when they are ready to buy, you're the first one they think of. And finally, sitting at the very top, we have Hero content. These are your massive, broad, tentpole events designed for one thing: huge audience growth. Now, because this kind of content is incredibly expensive and notoriously difficult to pull off, a brand might realistically only do 2 or 3 of these a year. We're talking highly produced documentaries, huge viral stunts, or massive celebrity-backed product launches. The strategy here is casting the widest net possible to blast your brand awareness out to people who literally have no idea who you are.
To really see how this plays out, let's look at 2 totally different strategies. On the left, you've got hyper-niche targeting. Think Puma making super technical football training content with elite athletes like Usain Bolt. That content converts a very specific, die-hard type of player. But on the right, you have broad targeting. Think of the creator Vsauce asking, what if everyone on Earth jumped at once? That taps into universal human curiosity, right? It has massive, widespread appeal across almost any demographic. To make your funnel really hum, you absolutely need both extremes: the sweeping awareness of the hero and the laser-targeted utility of the help.
All right, Section 3, Hero formats for massive reach. Let's look at that top-of-funnel awareness.
First up for Hero formats is challenge content. This is such a fun one. It's a setup where an expert or even a total novice tries to pull off a near impossible task in a crazy short amount of time. The language app Babbel did this perfectly. They challenged a bunch of hyper-polyglots to learn a completely new language in a week. This is brilliant because it naturally bakes in deep narrative tension. You're watching the struggle, the setbacks, the triumph. But here's the absolute genius part. The product itself is the tool they use to win.
So you're seamlessly proving the product's immense value to over 10 million viewers, without ever sounding like a cheesy infomercial.
Next in the hero tier is reaction content. This is when an expert critiques or reacts to popular, existing footage. The huge upside here? You usually get double the average watch time, and you capture something called parasitic distribution. I know it sounds a little intense, but it's brilliant. It basically means you are piggybacking on the massive search volume generated by someone else's multi-million-dollar marketing budget. Like when the CEO of Nothing, Carl Pei, got 4.4 million views just by reviewing Apple's newest iPhone, he siphoned an audience already searching for Apple. The downside? It doesn't convert well downstream. It creates great curiosity loops and hooks people in, but at its core, it's an entertainment play, not a direct sales driver.
Our third hero format is founder-led content. This is basically building your company in public. The pros here are off the charts. It's super authentic, and it's literally impossible for competitors to copy because, well, they don't have your founder. Psychologically, think about it. Are you going to trust a slick, faceless corporate ad or the actual CEO sitting down, looking right at the camera, transparently explaining why they built a feature, flaws and all? That builds unshakable trust. The catch, obviously, is that founders are busy. Consistency is a massive uphill battle. But if you can squeeze even a few hours out of them a month, it is an absolute powerhouse of a top-of-funnel strategy.
Let's move to Section 4, Hub Formats for Audience Loyalty, Mid-Funnel Consideration.
Okay, so you've grabbed their attention. Now you have to keep them coming back. Enter our first hub format, the listicle reveal. Creator Ali Abdal crushed this with a 13 million view breakdown of passive income streams. Our brains are hardwired to love checklists, and this format makes scripting super clean and logical. It sets up this powerful psychological loop: promise, build, payoff. Every single point is a self-contained unit that builds toward a bigger goal, which creates incredible viewer retention because people just have to stick around for that final tip. But word of warning, if your individual points are weak or lack genuine value, it's going to feel like cheap clickbait instantly, and your audience will bounce.
Another powerhouse hub format is podcasts and interviews. Now, I know a lot of marketers groan at podcasts because they usually get pretty dismal overall view counts on YouTube, but you have to look past those vanity metrics. Podcasts are unparalleled for deepening relationships and turning casual scrollers into diehard fans. Plus, they systematically build your industry connections. And maybe most importantly, they are the ultimate engine for creating animated selfies. You know those vertical, highly produced, bright subtitled clips dominating your LinkedIn feed? Those microclips crush it for B2B distribution, and they all come from just one single long-form podcast recording.
Moving on to Section 5, Help Formats for Driving Conversion. Bottom-of-funnel action. This is the conversion engine. This is where the magic and the sales actually happen. The absolute staple here is the talking head. It's incredibly cheap to produce, super fast to iterate, and it builds direct trust through prolonged eye contact. There is just an unmatched level of intimacy when an expert looks right into the lens and talks to you. Channels like RP Strength have perfected this. They just have an exercise science professor look at the camera and answer frequent customer questions. That authority building generates nearly 2 million daily views. It is the reliable workhorse of a business channel. But obviously, if it's the only trick up your sleeve, your channel is going to feel pretty repetitive and stale over time.
And now we arrive at the crown jewel of the framework, the ultimate conversion engine, the converter. This is a highly specialized, rigorous, step-by-step visual walkthrough of your lead magnet, like a free course or a software tool. You're literally sharing your screen and proving exactly how your tool solves their specific problem. To pull this off, you have to completely ignore vanity metrics. Forget the millions of views. Your only goal here is making the viewer's very next step to purchase so incredibly obvious and irresistible that they can't help but click.
I want you to burn this number into your brain, 20 to 30%. That is the jaw-dropping conversion rate of the converter format. To put that in perspective, a standard, everyday marketing campaign might convert at a max of 3 or 4%. So this format completely shatters the industry average, taking a tiny fraction of views and turning them into an absolute avalanche of highly qualified leads. Let's look at a real example from our data. The education company Career Foundry made a converter walkthrough of their free UX design short course. Over several years, it only got about 52,000 views. Now, a top-of-funnel marketer might call that a flop. But those views were hyper-targeted. A viewer searched for a UX problem, watched the detailed walkthrough, clicked the link,
took the free course and then boom, converted into an €8,000 paid product. That one low view format drove a massively profitable sales journey because the real business value of every single view was astronomically high.
Finally, Section 6, Building Your Perfect Format Mix. Let's talk about how to actually execute this. We've covered a ton, so here is your ultimate synthesis matrix. It maps out exactly how these formats hit your funnel goals. Now, the biggest mistake you can make is trying to do all of these at once. You don't build the roof before you pour the foundation, right? Start with one thing that works, usually a consistent talking head at that foundational help tier to answer search intent. Lock in that bottom funnel conversion engine first. Then, once you're consistent, deliberately start layering in new formats based on where your business is bleeding. Lacking brand awareness? Throw in a reaction or challenge format at the hero tier. Getting views but zero sales? Immediately drop a converter into your help tier. Need to build loyalty? Start a podcast or do listicles at the hub tier.
We've clearly seen today that all views are absolutely not created equal, and the exact format you choose directly controls your business outcome. So I want to leave you with a challenge. Take a mental audit of your own content ecosystem right now. Look honestly at what you're doing. Which single format are you going to execute next week to fix the gaps in your marketing funnel? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Start building that perfect mix, and I'll see you next time.